Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to Swift Slots. Now hopefully you've seen my video a few videos back about my BRM P160 where I get a little bit more pod float out of it. Now that video was entirely inspired by one of my subscribers called Stuart. Now I met Stuart at the Gaydon Slot Fest in 2024, this year, and he had a Fly Capri that he was struggling with a little bit, and he said to me, if I sent it to you, would you kind of tickle it and get it where it should be? Because I'd already done a series of 3 videos on that exact car. And I said, yeah, no problem, I can do that. When the time came, he'd actually acquired that Poly car, and he said, do you mind if I bung it in the box and you can tickle that one as well? And I said, yeah, no problems at all. And that's where that video came from. So I'd sorted out his pod, got it all exactly where I personally like it. And then, of course, my car, as I explained in the video, wasn't quite that good. So I retrospectively did the work on my car, and that's where that little mini video came from. So when all the cars were finished, I sent them back to Stuart, and he was over the moon with the way they now ran. And he sent me a very, very generous token of his appreciation. And I thought that was the end of it. But no, in the post, I got this as well. Now in this box there are some amazing things, and I'm going to get you on the table and I'm going to take you through them one by one. So let's get in this box and let's show you what Stuart also sent me. So it's really difficult to know where to start with these cars, so we'll start here with this standard Scalextric Escort. Now Stuart really wanted to see a series of videos on my channel about turning one of these standard Escorts into something quite a bit quicker than a standard car. So he's given me this car to do it to. This is my car, he's asked me to keep it, but he wants to see the videos, so we'll do it at some point. And as you can see, this particular car has got non-standard axles with non-standard wheels and tyres, but he's given me these ones anyway. I don't know if I'll be using these. There is a set of Staff's wheels that I really like that I've been waiting to have an opportunity to use on a build, and this might be the car that I do it to, or I might buy some standard Staff wheels and take the inserts out of these and use these wheels as inserts. Not sure yet, that's a long way off. But this is the standard car that he's given me to work with, and we'll be doing a whole series on this at some point in the future. So that's my Escort. Now this is a car that I never expected to receive, and it has a little bit of a twist to its story. Now I mentioned to Stuart in passing that I like classic BMW racing cars. So he sent me this. It's a BMW 2800 series. Now he said that it was sat on his shelf doing nothing, gathering dust, because it was too nice to use. And he thought it would look really nice in my collection, and he'd really like to see it running around Crow Valley. So we'll do that in a second now. But it's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love it. SRC is a fantastic brand. I race SRC at our local club for rallying, and the SRC cars do extremely well. And I'm sure this will go around the track really nicely as well. They've got fantastic sprung guides, fantastic chassis, very tunable, really good tyres from standard, and they go really well. And this one is extremely nicely detailed. And the reason why it's extremely nicely detailed is because our good friend Pete from Track Fans TV actually painted this car for Stuart as a commission job, and I cannot believe that Stuart has given it to me. So thank you to Stuart, and thank you to Pete for doing such a nice job on it. But Stuart said it was just gathering dust with him. He was too scared to use it, he didn't want to scratch it, and it was just a waste in his collection. But I'll run it, Pete. So here we go. Let's hit the track with Pete's BMW and we'll see how well she goes. Okay, so here is another very special car for a very different reason. Stuart and I both think that this car has never actually been run. As you can see, it's a classic Scalextric Datsun, and it's absolutely fantastic. I cannot see a single mark on it, and for the box as being as old as it is, you can see the box is in incredible condition as well. It's not a reproduction box, it's an original box, and it's in wonderful condition. I say I don't think this ever been run, and Stuart doesn't think so either. So we'll take it out and I'll show you what we've got. So there we are. Now inside the box, we've got an original set of transfers. I would never use them. I don't know why you'd want to use them at this point. And we've also got a bag of accessories. So you've got a spare pinion gear and some spare braids. I'm not sure if these are original. Possibly not. I'm not entirely sure. But the car itself is absolutely immaculate. Even the card, the whole lot is amazing condition. So we'll just whip the car out now because we will be running this car possibly for the first time. I'm not going to get precious about that. So there is the car complete, and as you can see, it's completely clean. There's not a mark on it. Even the tyres are not perished. I cannot see any evidence of perished tyres whatsoever, and that chassis is completely clean. Even the braids look brand new and don't look to be used at all. However, it does have a couple of problems with it, which are normal to classic Scalextric cars. That being, the pinion has split. So from the Escort that I've just shown you, I've pulled out the pinion from that because that pinion isn't cracked. So we're going to pop this motor out, and we're going to pop this new pinion into this car so that the pinion itself in this car is actually working again. And there we are. So that's the pinion changed. Quite easy to do, but a little bit firm on this chassis because it's quite a thick chassis, so it doesn't flex too much. But the new pinion is now in, and that back axle is turning super smooth. Now the other problem with old Scalextric cars, as you might well know, is the wheels fall off the axles quite easily, because what happens is the plastic in the wheel expands, relaxes, and you lose the grip on the back axle. And that's happened to this car on all four wheels. So what I like to do, a little bit gentle, I don't like to sort of go too mad, but what I do, just scratch up the axle slightly, and it's just scratching it. You're not actually wanting to take away any material particularly. You just want to scratch it up with some really coarse paper and put in some fairly deep grooves in the metal itself, and that will just give enough room for a little tiny bit of super glue just to grab. So once you've scuffed up your axle, you want to put a small amount of super glue on the axle itself, hardly anything at all. All you want to do is wet it down slightly on both ends here, just a little tiny bit, and then you want to put a bit of super glue inside the wheel, just a dot, not too much, and then you can simply push the wheel straight on, and that will hold the wheel nice and firm. Make sure you give it a good old twist and turn it, and on both sides, and that will be all you need to get these wheels on the car. And there we are. So that's all the wheels now glued on. Now I know some people might say, oh, you've ruined the originality of it and so on and so forth. But for as many people that say you've ruined the originality of it, there are probably twice as many people that say, don't leave it as a shelf queen, get it on the track where it belongs. I've heard that said so many times. That's what we're going to do. So now the actual wheels are glued on nicely, and the back gear is now working super smooth. We'll get it on Crow Valley, and we'll run around and we'll see what she looks like just going around the track. I'm not interested in about how fast she goes. I just want to see what she looks like cruising around Crow Valley, looking really, really nice. So there you are, the 3 fantastic cars that Stuart gave to me in appreciation for the work that I'd done to his 2 slot cars to get them just where he wanted them. And I am hugely appreciative of these cars, so thank you very much, Stuart. So, from the outside looking in, it may seem that Stuart's getting a bit of a rough deal here. I fix a couple of his cars and he gives me 3 fantastic cars. However, that's not quite the case, because in the background right now I'm working on 2 very large projects for Stuart, and they will readdress the balance and everyone will come out on top and happy, I'm sure. So if you're curious about those projects, you might want to stick around. So if you've enjoyed this content, maybe you'll subscribe, and if you could hit the little bell button, that would be awesome. So until the next time, thank you very much.